Shall we?
Yes, let's.
That's
What's
right. You're listening to
5G
Namely
Ultra
90s.
Band?
My name's, oh my God. What?
What's
There's your
5G? Yeah. Timed that perfectly.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and there's Brendan.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Bluesky at Namely90s. You can also find the show on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/namely90s to get signed up for one of our support levels.
Yeah.
And I was just playing with the speed there.
I mean, it's really fun when we can really just get it a little bit faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and then down.
You threw me off my
slow.
game there with the first time where you talked over me, and then the second time where I just lost all interest.
Well, to be fair, I can just cut myself out of any intro where you're talking. Sometimes I do. Usually it's more when we come back to the show if I'm saying something that's not interesting because you just cut back in. Speaking of not interesting,
not. Correct.
No, I don't think.
Me. Whoops.
Yeah, and I think that's cut regardless. It's spooky season, so to our listener that cursed me into breaking things, stop it. Broken my iPhone. I've broken the beard guard on my my trimmer. All these things need to be replaced. They're expensive.
Is that why you have like the 70s porn mustache right now?
Yeah, it's okay, so I got a new razor. It's a one blade. It's a Philips one blade. And
I had one of those and I hated it. It was horrible.
Yeah, I was because it had great reviews and it's like the number one. I think it's number one on like GQ's recommended, and I was just like, I don't know how to use this. I had like the dial. I'm like, well, I use a 3 on my old one, so I assume the 3mm is the same. It's not. It's stubble.
I honestly found that thing essentially unusable. I was like, oh, it looks like it'd be good like doing lines, like sharp line. No, it's trash. Yeah,
I haven't bled shaving in probably a decade and a half. Yeah. Now it's been days.
It looks like a hedge trimmer.
Yeah,
you use it on your rhododendrons or whatever.
I guess you're supposed to keep the guards on it at all times. But yeah, no, I had like 3 bleed spots, and it's not great for like trimming sideburns. And
you would think it would be. It looks like it would be perfect for that.
I know. Maybe I just need to watch some more tutorials, but it wasn't great. I feel duped and should have just got like, once you reach a certain age, the style of razor that you use doesn't change. You just buy a newer model, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't shave much because I shave like once a week, maybe, and I just use like regular clippers.
Like clippers or like
beard clippers, but I don't use a guard or anything. I just like run it on the lowest setting, and then like I don't actually shave with a razor. It's like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I did that's what I do when I like shave my beard off. For the stubble.
Namely shaving.
Yes, Shavely 90s.
What else? Ooh, that 90s show has been canceled. Shocking.
Oh, it's. Yeah. I mean, I blame Netflix. It was. It wasn't that bad. It was bad.
I mean, it's always a good policy to blame Netflix for everything.
Yeah. Well, I haven't subscribed. I quit Netflix in February, I think it was, because I was like, I've watched everything I need to watch. Nothing new that I want to watch is coming out for a while. They split Cobra Kai, the final season of Cobra Kai, into 3 parts. I'm not signing back up until all 3 parts have been released. So
I think it's somehow packaged in with our Xfinity, so I just have it.
I can't with my new Verizon plan. I can get it for $10 with HBO Max, but it's the ad version. So what's the point? Yeah. I think I'm just gonna buy like a single month of Netflix in a couple months and just binge what I want to watch and be done with it. Paramount Plus duped me into buying a year for half price.
And what were you watching on Paramount Plus?
Well, the new Frasier season is out.
Right.
A new season of Colin from Accounts. The final season of Star Trek Lower Decks comes out this month, and those are the 3 things that I will watch. But I was like, they've
Lower
given
Decks,
me.
what happens down there?
It's where all the ensigns live, so it's the people that normally you don't care about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the animated comedy one from one of the old EPs of Rick and Morty. But I was like, $60 for a year of Paramount Plus without ads. I was like, sure, why not?
You say Rick and Morty, I hear brick and mortar, just so you know. It's just like, like a business that has a physical location.
Mm-hmm. And you can see why Rudy Giuliani did a press conference in front of Four Seasons gardening shop, because
I've said it before and I'll say it again. As much as I hate those people, I love how they're like, we're going with it. Like, I aspire to have that level of confidence and go with the flowedness as they did.
What do they always say? I'll do it live.
I'll do it live. What's that from? I think it's from Family Guy.
No, it's Bill O'Reilly. It's a classic clip of him just like,
oh yeah, that's right. I'll do it live. Yep. Because it seems so fake. So I'll do it live.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's reading, because it was some like jargon, and he's like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean anything. Screw it. I'll do it live. Yeah. Speaking of
classic
being alive, Podcast of Horror 5 might be on the horizon. Might be 3 weeks out at this point. 2 weeks out. 2 or 3 weeks out. Let's see where we are.
Podcast of Horror 5.
3 weeks out. 2. Yeah. Maybe we'll figure out what we're doing for it today. Maybe we won't. This is how we tease our stuff now. Last year we did do like did we do like some sort of single elimination thing where we determined what we were going to watch this year, like in a bracket showdown based off of would you watch this or would you watch that? And I tried to get it to be Hocus Pocus 2, and then you swerved and picked something else. It was impressive. We'll have to figure out what that was. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what it will be? If you remember that episode, please send it to namely90s@namely90s.com. Yes.
See. What else? I lost my email. Oh crap.
I don't have anything written. It's been a week. Has it been a week? It's been a week.
A week since
we recorded.
Yeah, I think it has been actually.
No, what happened this week?
Yeah, it's been 1 week.
Was the vice president debate this week? I don't know what time is anymore, guys. I'm sorry. This is the
like
podcast. Yeah. Was it last week?
It was early this week.
Yeah, it was like Tuesday. Anyway.
Yeah, and it didn't matter, and no one watched it, and no one cares.
So that's been politically 90s.
You know, I used to listen to Dave Ramsey, the financial advice guy.
Yeah.
So he invited both presidential candidates to sit down for an interview, and only Trump got back to him. So he actually traveled to Trump Tower to interview Donald Trump.
I'm curious because you keep hearing about Trump like dodging debates and interviews and stuff.
I feel like Harris actually dodges more interviews. Like, she's not as probably okay. Here's the thing: neither one of them are great, like live in an interview,
right?
But like, Trump is just like willing to do it because he's just has no idea. Like he'll just do anything. But anyway, it was
except
just
for a second debate,
rambling nonsense, made no goddamn sense.
Shocking. So you still listen to Dave Ramsey then?
No, I happened to see a thing on Facebook. I was like, yeah, I'll just check it out and see what it's like. And it was just like, he was talking about the pipeline and I'm not going to do the voice. I'm not going to they had been drilling this whole time. We had before 5 times more drilling. And when we drilled before, it was great. Drill, baby, drill. But then they didn't do it for 2 years. And then they realized energy, we got to dominate energy. So drill. Oh, great. Good point. I hadn't considered that.
Sleepy Joe, he doesn't have the energy. Andrew and Brandon from Namely 90s, they don't have the energy right now. They need the energy. They need drill. Okay. Well, Andrew, it's spooky season, and you know how I like to do boots or reboots. Show you 2 trailers of things that I assume you've never seen before, and force you to watch it, and then hold a gun to your head, literally, and say, which one would you rather watch? This one from the 90s, or usually the reboot is of a modern version. But today, we got a little twist, because it is, again, spooky season. And we're going to be looking at George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, the original 1968 version and the 1990 reboot. And there's a story behind why he directed both versions, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But you ready for some boot or reboot? A little trailer madness.
Let me put on my readers.
Oh, ooh, wow, that's You should go to youtube.com/@namely90s with 90s to check out Andrew's very, very blue or reflective.
Yeah, they have the blue light filter, but apparently that problem is it reflects all the blue back.
That's funny, but at the angle you were at, it didn't see it. So, or that angle works as well. Now you look like the Dogecoin dog. And
so trailer, much wow.
So trailer, much wow. Andrew knows his memes, and yeah, this is the 1968 trailer for Night of the Living Dead. Are you seeing the movie window?
I'm seeing your desktop.
Okay, let's try that again. I clicked on this one and share sound. Are you seeing the movie trailer window this time?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Just...
The killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us.
Ew.
Yeah, he was eating a person.
Who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, wildlife to seek human victims.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
It looks weird that it's like in such detail.
Yeah, pretty impressive. So this is the 4K restoration trailer, as we just saw. And do you want to jump straight into the next one, or do you want a little background on this?
Let's take some background because I haven't seen this.
All right. So Night of the Living Dead kind of invented the modern zombie movie. It's a 1968 independent horror film, directed, photographed, and edited by George A. Romero, written by him as well, and John Russo. It stars Dwayne Jones and Judith O'Dea. At the end of that trailer, you heard the classic line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." The story follows 7 people trapped in a farmhouse in rural Pennsylvania under assault by reanimated corpses. Although the fleshy monsters that appear in the film are referred to as ghouls, they are credited with popularizing the modern portrayal of zombies in pop culture. The thing about this film is that due to some sort of error when titling the original film, it entered public domain upon its release. They weren't able to trademark it or whatever you do to copyright it, so they never made like money off of it, and you can use it. You could use it in the background of anything. That's why I didn't stop the trailer at any point, because we're in public domain, baby. Maybe not the 4K restoration, but who knows? We'll see what happens. And some like it's a 1960s movie, so it's kind of controversial that the black guy is one of the main characters. So it's also
imagine a world where casting a black person as a main character was a problem. Oh wait, that's the world we still live in.
Good point. God,
I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because of the outrageousness of that statement.
Yeah, it feels like we've progressed some 60 years or so, and yet we're still
America.
Yep.
It's unrealistic that this mermaid is black, and you're just like, well,
yeah. Hans Christian Andersen was white, so the mermaid wouldn't.
Mermaids aren't real.
The mermaid was so far underwater that it wouldn't get any pigment from the sun in its skin.
Surprised they tolerated the black genie.
He was still blue.
Yeah, true.
So it grossed 12 million domestically and internationally 18 million. And so it made more than 250 times its budget, but as I said, it's they made it on a budget of about $100,000.
Let's say a tenner.
Yeah, like that's less than like a star gets paid for a movie these days. And it created a successful franchise that includes 5 sequels released between 78 and 09, all directed by Romero. But yeah, like I said, due to the titling error, it entered public domain upon release. So there's been numerous adaptations, remakes, and a lasting legacy in the horror genre. And an official remake written by Romero was released in 1990, which is what we're going to be looking at now. Do you have any questions?
It's going to be great. I just can't wait.
Comments? It's going to be a little bit more modern, as they say. Ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. This is the same one. I swear I clicked. I know how to use
computers.
Okay. All right. You see? Do you see? Is it there?
I do. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. This one might be a little scary for you, Andrew.
They came to pay their respects.
Oh, it's got the guy in the voice.
Yeah, it has epic movie guy.
Show some respect.
Now they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right?
Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out
Don't stop no matter what happens.
is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us.
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
So that's George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Also,
22 years later, and they couldn't make it look any better.
yeah, I mean that's one of the critiques of the film is that it's almost a shot for shot remake of the original. Like, it follows the same story. 7 strangers as they meet and survive in a rural farmhouse. The plot, I don't think there's any difference in like the fine details of the plot. The farmers are harboring a child that got bit, but they don't tell the people that are hiding with them. They get in the truck to go get gas, and one of them dies and blows up, and of course the rural white farmer has a problem with the black man from the city.
Shocking.
Yeah. So this is the only official
They should make
remake.
a 2024 remake where a MAGA Republican is there.
And we could.
And they've chosen not to get their zombie vaccine because they were concerned that 5G was going to control them via the vaccine.
And again, we could, and probably someone already has, because the original film is in public domain, so you can adapt it as you please.
This is why I put a houseplant in front of my router.
What?
That's a thing. People like put houseplants in front of their routers to like cut down the radiation. I'm like, here's the thing.
It's not.
If you put things in front of your router, it's just going to make your router not work very well. If it's actually blocking the rays. If it's blocking the rays, it's going to make your router not work.
That's how that works. If you're being irradiated by 5G, putting a plant in front of it would serve more as like a coal mine canary. Like if that is
what I would do is if you have a wireless router, go ahead and encase it in lead.
I was going to say, yeah.
It'll block all of the signals.
Put it in aluminum foil shield around it. So
yeah, and that'll be great because you'll have no Wi-Fi and it'll contain all the signal.
Yeah. And also, if you do that, I have some land in what, Southwest Florida to sell you. What's the phrase? I have land to sell you. I don't know. I have some.
All this is just banter to put off trying to make a decision.
Fair. So obviously the difference is black and white or color. No, because the modern one stars Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman. Tony Todd is the Candyman, horror villain, the Candyman.
That's the creepiest thing in all history.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you have to make me choose one, but like neither, honestly.
Yeah, I get it. But like, gun to your head, zombies trying to break into your house and eat your brains. Which one would you Which one would you watch to fend off the zombies?
I think I'm gonna watch the original 1968 version.
The one where the guy was clearly eating a turkey leg that was supposed to be someone's femur.
Yes, and the reason for that is both of them are just horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
I would say the 90s one is better acted.
But it's like a classic. No, people didn't know how to act in the 60s. It was just a bunch of like overdone BS. It was way too hammed up. But the thing is, like, neither is good, but the original is like the original. It's like a thing.
Yeah, it's a
the
part
second
of pop
one
culture.
Is a bad knockoff of a already bad thing.
I mean, there
has cult status, but
unofficial knockoffs. This was
I'll take the original. Thank you.
Okay, and there you have it. Andrew has picked the original 1968 version, which we can find for free on the internet somewhere. Because it's
not actually gonna watch it. I mean, Jesus, but
also probably so he could avoid having me say, "Oh, you want to watch the 90s version? We could do that for Podcast of Horror 5."
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna watch? Brandon doing the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of doing Casper last week, we're looking back at a more adult take on a horny ghost in Ghost. Ghost is a 1990 supernatural romance film starring Bodhi from Point Break, G.I. Jane, Guinan from Star Trek The Next Generation, the voice of animated Tarzan, Mr. Vargas from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and Milton from Office Space. The story starts with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, who are attacked in the street by a mugger, and Swayze thinks he warded the guy off, but returns to Demi, who's cradling his lifeless body. Instead of stepping into the light, he chooses to stay as a ghost and try to console her. Sometime later, the mugger breaks into their apartment, and Swayze scares him off by scaring Demi's cat, who can see him for some reason. Swayze follows the mugger, unable to interact with the world, but learns that the mugger was Willie Lopez and the attack was deliberate. Later on, he meets Whoopi Goldberg, who is a fake psychic but can hear him for some reason, so he pesters her to help him tell Demi about the conspiracy. Demi tells the cops, but they don't believe her because of Whoopi's history of being a charlatan. Swayze finds out his friend and co-worker Carl hired the mugger to steal his password so he can launder $4 million in drug money. Carl steals the password book and tries to seduce Demi, so Swayze learns how to affect the physical world from a ghost he fought on the subway. Swayze convinces Whoopi to withdraw the money from Carl's fake account and donate it to charity, so Carl and Willie go to threaten her, but Swayze uses his new ghost powers against them, causing Willie to run into the street and get struck by a truck, and his ghost gets pulled to hell by a bunch of shadows. Back at Demi's, Whoopi allows Swayze to possess her so they can dance and, the pottery scene before Carl breaks in and Swayze ghost powers him into attacking wildly with a metal hook that shatters some glass that then impales him. Then the crazy shadow things drag Carl to hell too. Swayze then gets the light to go to heaven again, telling Demi he loves her before walking into the light. And that's Ghost in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
All right, Andrew, I made you survive 2 zombie movies that you probably will never watch. And I thought maybe we should see if we could survive a zombie apocalypse on BuzzFeed. So I have a BuzzFeed quiz. You can find this in the description for the show notes. And apparently on YouTube, we don't have links currently, but whatever. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Podcasts, Radio Podcasts, Spotify Podcast. Spotify has a video component now too, but somehow I don't know how to upload our video to that. Anyway, we're taking Would You Survive a Zombie Apocalypse from BuzzFeed community contributor Isabel 180410, who has 260 points. And I'm afraid to look at these 19 comments, but it's approved and edited by the BuzzFeed community team, which means it was vetted by someone who wasn't me. Ready to
Abracadabra.
Ready to take a quiz? Andrew?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. First question. You're in class and suddenly you start to hear screams and sirens. What do you do? Apparently this is back when we were high schoolers or college.
Yeah, what class am I in?
Middle?
Yeah, the middle class. You're in the middle class and you start to hear screams and sirens.
It sounds like you're going a little bit back lower.
Which do you do? Vote Democrat? Yes.
What you do? Look out the window, hide, open the door to see down the hall, or start screaming because you hear screams and sirens.
Well, presumably the sirens are outside and not in the hallway, so I'd probably look out the window. Everyone runs to the window. You run to the hallway. There's no one there.
Yeah.
The janitor is like buffing the floor.
I'll agree. Gotta look out the window, see what's going on.
You just start screaming. Ah! Anyway, you see there are zombies everywhere. How do you react? Look for snacks to stock up on. Lock all the windows and doors. Search for your phone to call for help and try to find a weapon.
Yeah, so I've always thought about this. How would we know it's a zombie apocalypse? How would we not know it's just like, not like, oh, people are doing a flash mob or something, and then I've just killed a bunch of people doing a flash mob. I think so in this hypothetical, we are in a classroom, which means there's not a lot of snacks to stock up on. Zombies generally are slow. But I think I'd try to find a weapon.
I'd still think you'd find a weapon in a school.
Yeah, classic zombie plan.
Actually, might find an AR-15 or two.
Okay, so nope, not gonna say that. Go try to find a weapon.
I think it's fair to lock all the windows and doors in case you need to use that as your home base.
Yeah, but you don't have enough snacks to stock up on.
Well, it's good to have a home base, I guess.
Fair. So you're going with lock all the windows and doors.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The school cliques are teaming up to try to survive. Who do you join? The popular kids, the nerds, a random group of people, or the troublemakers?
Ooh, I feel like the troublemakers would have like lighters and like pocket knives and like M80s and stuff. But like the nerds are the smart ones and they have more ingenious solutions to problems. So I'll go with the nerds.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Well, actually, maybe a random group of people. You kind of need like an aggressive person. Like you need a mixture of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, a well-balanced team.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm switching.
That's fine. I think I'll go with the troublemakers because I assume they're all hardened people who know how to fend.
Yeah, they were ready to survive innumerable examples of abuse by their parents or stepdad or whatever.
And that is a place that we've gone to.
You decide to establish a home base. Where's your group headed? Well, not the school, apparently, because the options are a house, an apartment, an office, and a mansion.
Why would you leave a school to go to an office? Is my question.
A school essentially is an office.
Yeah, but like, you're well sequestered. There's a group. I think apartment's too small for a group. A house, if it's multiple stories, is harder to defend.
A mansion's way too hard to defend.
That's also true. But have you seen Zombieland? Bill Burry survived for some time in a mansion. I'll go with mansion. Mansion, you have as your security system. There's probably a generator. There's probably a lot of food.
I'm going to go with an office.
Interesting.
Because I feel like they usually have
supplies,
a lot of those amenities as well.
True.
And they don't specify what kind of office it is. Could be a bank. Hide in the vault. Die.
Die in the vault. Your team's creating a strategy when suddenly 2 zombies are outside your door. Which do you do? Hide, start screaming. Use the weapons
This
you
is
found
the
to
same
defend yourself.
question.
This time they're closer. Get something to block the entryways.
Mm, I'd probably start screaming.
So in our hypothetical earlier, the weapons we found were guns. So generally guns alert zombies to your presence. I think they can smell you sometimes, but you can also hide. I think I'm in a mansion. I think I can get something to block the entryways, but that's a lot of entryways.
Actually, if it's P. Diddy's mansion, it's just there's just baby oil everywhere, and the zombies just slip around and can't get to you.
I'm gonna go with hide, because if they're outside the door, we hide. They don't try to come in.
Okay.
Is that my turn? Your turn. Your turn.
Now my turn. The group is running out of food and decides to send a few people on an expedition to find more. Which is your role? You're the captain of the expedition. You're carrying the bags with the food. You're staying behind, or you're going ahead to scout for more zombies.
All these options suck. I guess I would go ahead to I would go ahead to scout for zombies.
I'd probably try to be the captain because, gosh, staying behind would be creepy.
Yeah, right? You don't know if they're coming back or not. All right, so you're captain, I'm scout. Home base starts to get boring. Which do you do? Don't get bored. Sleep.
Yeah.
Start messing with people for your own entertainment. Check that everything's secure and talk about additional safety plans. Really, BuzzFeed, you vetted this and edited everything? Or read a book. Edit Eddie.
Probably check that everything is secure and talk about additional safety plans because that's the smart play.
Yeah. But since you picked that, I guess I'll go with sleep because apparently things are boring in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, sounds dull. They announce on the radio that the zombie apocalypse has ended. What do? Run outside shouting, "I'm free." Stay in the bunker a few more days just to be sure. Run outside to see the world, or stay vigilant but begin to search for your family. I want my family back.
Oh, I want my family back. Give me back my family. I'm a worrywart. I'm going to stay in the bunker a few more days. Just to see what happens.
I'm going to stay vigilant, but begin to search for my family.
That's probably safe.
This is stupid.
You died, didn't you?
No. You survived. You did very well during the zombie apocalypse. You were faced with difficult decisions, but you trusted your gut, and in the end are the reason your friends are still alive. Major main character energy, Seymour. Well done.
I got the exact same result. Yeah, it kind of messed up. They wouldn't let you go find your family in this hypothetical.
If you just chose scream for every answer, you probably die.
Apparently you can get betrayed. Yeah.
That's sus.
Yes. Yeah. So you start playing Among Us during a zombie apocalypse. All right.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like a zombie right now.
I do as well. So on that note, that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, YouTube, at Namely 90s with 90s, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Zombies podcast, Pocket Casts, Castbox, Cost Packs, Cox, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcast from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we will catch you next time. Can't believe I accidentally said Cox there.